Welcome to another edition of the Jehovah's Witness on What Does the Bible Really Teach? Today we'll be discussing Matthew 24:36 and Mark 13:32. The Jehovah's Witness will point to Matthew 24:36 or Mark 13:32 to show where Jesus was limited in his knowledge about the time of the second coming. They will argue that since Jesus is not all-knowing, then Jesus cannot be God. After nearly a decade of studying the Bible, logic, philosophy, and learning from the top thinkers from around the world on the subject of religion, in particular Christianity, today I'd like to share with you my thoughts. As the Christian examines the argument raised by the Jehovah's Witness, he will recognize that Matthew 24:36 and Mark 13:32 do indeed indicate that Jesus was limited in knowledge. And there are other scriptures as well, such as the fig tree in Matthew 21:19. Where Jesus went to the tree to get fruit, but there was no fruit. Or John 11:34, where Jesus doesn't seem to know where Lazarus is buried. However, the Christian also knows that there are several verses that say Jesus knows all things, like John 16:30 and John 21:17. Jesus knows what's in the hearts and minds of all men, John 2:24, etc. Jesus knew where the fish were in the water in Luke 5:4. Jesus knew what fish would contain the coin, Matthew 17:27. Jesus has perfect knowledge of the Father, John 10:15. Jesus also said that he would answer the prayers of his disciples, John 14:14. So how can this be? How can the Scriptures show that Jesus is limited in knowledge, and yet also show that Jesus knows all things? This seems to be a contradiction. But we know that a contradiction in the Bible is not possible, because the Bible is God's Word, 2 Timothy 3:16, and God cannot lie, Titus 1:2. So the Christian tells the Jehovah's Witness that if we examine everything that has been revealed to us in the Bible, we will recognize that Jesus has two natures. Jesus has a human nature, Hebrews 2:17, and Jesus has a divine nature, Colossians 2:9. And this is the key to answering the Jehovah's Witness objection and the apparent contradiction. Jesus has two natures. While operating under the influence of his human nature, Jesus was limited in knowledge. But while operating under his divine nature, Jesus is all-knowing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope this helps. Please share your Jehovah's Witness experience in the comments and ask any questions. Also, make sure to check out our other videos on the Jehovah's Witness.